Hello, good people. It's your boy, Dr. Justin Grimes, founder and owner of Apply to Graduate School. And I'd like to welcome you to today's discussion on how to get into graduate school with a low GPA. I'm assuming one thing, if you're watching this video, it is not because you probably have a 4.0. It is likely not because you have a 3.7. It is likely that you are amongst a group of individuals like myself who were probably ranging between a 2.0 and a 3.5. Now, as we get into this, I want to make sure that you know that you can always visit our website at applytograduateschool.com for a number of resources to support you on your journey of getting to your degree. Okay. And so for today's discussion, I know you just don't want to look at me and hear me talk, right? Like you want some steps and some tips that are going to help you. You want to know, Dr. Grimes, I've heard your story where you had a low GPA and you managed to complete a master's and a doctoral degree. So how exactly did you do this? I know another thing about you is that you are more than your GPA. You are more than the test score that is revealed to you when you take that test, the GRE, the GMAT, whatever that is, okay? And I know that you want to start your master's or your doctoral degree or specialist degree. I know you want to do that. I also know the fears there. The fear that I am going to be judged based on a period of my life. And if you don't know anything else, your transcript is just a small fraction of your life. It's not the totality of your life. It's a small piece of paper that reflects back what you did academically at one point in your life. And I know that the individual you were then when you started this is not the person you are now. And I am excited about not only your decision to pursue a graduate degree, but your decision to say, I am not going to let my GPA define me. I am going to, regardless of what they say, regardless of what I read, I am going to still apply anyway because I have value, I have expertise, I have something to give to the world, and I don't want to hold it any longer. If you believe that, like I believe that, I need you to indicate some way, form, or fashion to yourself. You can give yourself a round of applause, give yourself a high five. You can write a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Whatever you want to do, I just need you to get excited about you, okay? Because the main secret, y'all, of how I got in is because I'm excited about me. And if I'm excited about me, I know I can get other individuals who are in the positions to make the decisions to be excited as well. So before we get into all the things that I'm about to teach you today, I got 7 action steps that I want you to take. Before I get into these, I want to just share with you my background because I feel like you might be like, yeah, I just want to make sure he ain't pulling no wool over my eyes. I know I see the sweatshirt. You have a PhD and it's not honorary, but how did you get there? How did I know you're not telling me a lie, Dr. Grimes? Cool. Listen, let's go and get into it. Again, this is how to get into graduate school with a low GPA. One thing I want you to start with is the question. Can you honestly get into a graduate school with a low GPA? Can you get into a top tier program? I'm from a top tier institution. Can you get into a program that's listed in the top 5? Can you get into a top 50 institution? Can you get into an institution that offers online or flexible graduate programs? Can you get into a program that is just an addition to what you're already doing? And I want you to know that, yes, you can. But before we get there, I need to define something for you. Let me define what I mean by low GPA. I am saying that if your GPA is below the minimum GPA required, so you're looking at the graduate school application, and they say that we only accept individuals who have a 3.0 or more, a 3.5 or greater, and your GPA is below that number, I am talking to you. Or even if you are at the right number, right? But you recognize that they tend to, from your discussions and what you've read and what you've come to understand, that they tend to let people in based on the most competitive applications that they have reviewed with individuals whose GPA reflect this, and you don't meet that. That's my definition of low GPA. So if you're asking yourself, can you get into graduate school with low GPA? Yes, you can. And I know you want to know, how do you do this? And I'm here to teach you that today, okay? I'm here to teach you how you can do this. I'm teaching you what you need to know so that you can, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. I just want to play with my views to make sure I like what I got here, but I think this is a little bit better, okay, y'all? So let's go ahead and continue. Let me start with sharing my story. If they gave degrees for the most social individual, the leadership degrees for individuals who were involved in everything on a college campus, y'all would have probably had 2 or 3 of them in here, because I enjoyed everything about the social aspect of college. I love the leadership opportunities. I love Greek life. I love connecting with people. I'm a people person. Now, my undergrad is in computer information systems, and I remember going in the area where I got it at the University of Arkansas. There are 3 major corporations in that area in Northwest Arkansas. You've got Tyson, Tyson chicken beef, all the chicken you eat, products from Tyson. Okay, not all of it, but maybe Purdue. Then we have JB Hunt Trucking Company, and then we have Walmart Corporation. These are global companies, billions of dollars. And I remember going into the Walmart corporate office and seeing things that bothered me. When I saw some things that I'm like, they got tape on the floor. Why are these chairs tore up? Why is everybody sitting in a cubicle? Y'all, I'm not a cubicle type of person. Cubicle is not me. I get allergic when I'm in cubicles. I break out with itches. I just got to get out of that space. And I knew this wasn't my journey. I knew that I loved college and I wanted to provide an opportunity for others to not only access it, but to thrive in it. So I wanted to start my career in not in computer information systems, but into student affairs. I'm talking, running a leadership office, a Greek life office, career services, a residence hall, a support service, women's center, LGBTQIA center, multicultural center, Black student center, whatever it was. That's what I wanted to do for a living. But I had something in the way. I needed to get this master's degree. Everybody, you got to get a master's degree. If you want the most competitive jobs, you got to get a master's degree. Okay, so I'm going to go get a master's degree. So what I need to do, you need to apply and you need to, take this test. They call it the GRE, the Graduate Record Examination. You need to get a certain score. Okay, cool. So let me start looking at some programs. I was already at the University of Arkansas. I never even thought about leaving the U of A. I was like, I ain't going nowhere. This is cool for me. Let me apply. Y'all, I had a 2.776 undergraduate GPA. The minimum requirement for the student affairs program was a 3.0. I also took the GRE. They said, you got to take the GRE. I got a GRE practice manual or book, a Kaplan one. I opened it. I closed it back and said, I'm pretty good. I can figure this out. With a 2.776, I said I could figure this out. So I never forget going to that space. I went into the building. I went up to the testing services floor. I walked in, I showed my ID, and then they said, go to your computer. And I went to my computer and I sat there for 2 hours and was like, what the heck am I doing? This is exhausting. Let me just get through this. And I took the break that you get. Then I did another hour and a half, which included the writing section. And y'all, I got that score immediately. And you see here, it says 690 out of 1600. This is the old GRE score. This is like the equivalent today where the lowest you can get is a 270. This is like a 275. You just kind of showed up, entered your name, got one right, and you walked out the door. 3.5 hour exam. And I did zero preparation and got a full 690. So here I am, ready to apply to a master's degree program with a 2.776 when the minimum requirement was a 3.0, and then with a 690 GRE score when the minimum to get in was 1100. I applied anyway. Didn't think through the process, didn't connect with anybody, didn't get any type of guidance, just decided to do it anyway. And y'all, I got told no. But one of the greatest gifts that came as a result of that no was that faculty member who was over the department who told me no said, you're not a good fit for this, but you should look into this online adult education program because there's a lot of translatable information there. And if you decide that this is not the career for you, I don't want you to lock yourself into this particular degree and field. I want you to have options, Justin. I say, thank you so much. And I applied, y'all, and I got in. Again, this is a Research One, top 50 Research One institution. And I got into the program. And I know a lot of folks be like, oh, it's easy. It's an online program. No. This is like 2006. Online programs weren't popping back then, y'all. It had no risk. It was not popular. Wasn't nobody checking for it. People had a lot of perceptions about it. And we thought about DeVry and some of these other programs. Like, they just didn't seem as credible. But I said, there's something here with this. It matches my type of learning. Like, I could do it on my own time. I know when my assignments are coming out and due. I gotta, implement. I gotta provide my comments on the chat board. This ain't hard. I can do this. Now, it was some moments where it was challenging, but I did it, y'all. And so then after that, I went to go work for a number of years. And then I decided I was ready to go back to school and get a PhD. Well, I graduated my master's degree with a 3.636. And I decided to take the GRE again because my scores had expired. And this time, y'all, I got a 297. Here I go again, applying to a top 5 PhD program in my field. In the field of college administration, education leadership, and these things, University of Georgia's College Student Affairs Administration program is in the top 5 at the time with a whole 3.6. Now, I met the minimum GPA requirement, but the GRE was a 300, y'all. And I still did it anyway. And y'all believe they let your boy in? Because my PhD is real, it's not honorary. And so I can keep going on and on about my story, but we're not here for that. We're here for you to learn the 7 actions you need to take in order to increase your chances. I can't guarantee not a single thing. I will never tell a person, I guarantee if you do these things, you will get in. There's no guarantees. I'm not the decision maker. I don't work on behalf of the institution. I don't know their background. I don't know their population. All I know is that there's an opportunity. And if you do these things, you increase your chances. I know that the individuals who work with me increase their chances to 92%. That's pretty good, y'all. Pat on my back. That's a really good number. But I'm going to teach you the things not only I use, but what I tell my clients, what I tell students, what I tell working professionals to do. So the action step number 1 is you've got to learn the program's requirements. And what I mean by that is you've got to know what the program requires in terms of their GPA requirements, their research requirements, because some programs require you to have done prior research. You've got to know the work requirements. Do they require you to work a certain number of years? My program, you had to work at least 5 years. If you work between 3 and 5, you had to do an internship. That means you had to pay for another class and extend your time out to complete this internship. There are some MBA programs that won't let you get in, a lot of the most competitive ones, if you don't have work experience. So you need to know that they ask for work experience. You also need to know that you have to submit any type of written samples or additional documents, right? Like maybe you got to submit a portfolio. Maybe you have to submit a video. Maybe you have to submit a written sample of your writing. Maybe you have to submit some information from a conference proposal that you have done, or a copy of the conference session materials, right? Like, you get the program booklet and it lists all the people who are doing things. Maybe you have to submit that. You got to know what are they requiring. And this stuff is on the website. So you got to do your research and your due diligence to find that out. But you, number 1, need to know what they require. Because I don't want you to sell yourself a no when it could be a yes because you didn't look it up to see what they asked. Now, like, this is a program that engages in holistic admissions. That means they're looking at more than just your GPA. And even if the program is not using holistic admissions and you come to realize that they're really serious about this GPA, there are always spaces for contingencies. There are always what they might call wild cards. There are always spaces for people like me and you who don't meet the requirement, but our expertise and our experience and other aspects that I'm going to talk to you about here in a moment make you a good candidate. So I want you to do your research and find out what are they requiring of every applicant for this program. Not only that, but what are the deadlines? Action 2, I want you to speak the program's language. And what I mean by that, y'all, there is certain language that programs use that you got to look it up. They're going to have a mission statement. They're going to have a vision. They're going to have some language around their program that describes the work that they do. And you want to know what that language is. You've got to speak this back to them. If they value diversity, if they value independent thinking, if they value student development, ethical growth, leadership, research, whatever these big words are, you've got to use that in all your materials. Because again, this is not about your GPA. This is about you showcasing other things about yourself that make you a stellar candidate. So if you want to get into graduate school with a low GPA, you've got to follow action step number 2, which is speak the program's language. You've got to spend some time, again, on the website looking at the common words that they use. If this was a job application, we would say keywords. You've got to identify those things. And you can use ChatGPT and other forms of AI to assist you with finding that out. And you've got to make sure that your personal statement, your resume, your application reflects the language that the program uses, not what you think that they use. If you want to get into graduate school with a low GPA, you need to make sure that you attend recruitment events and webinars hosted by the program. A lot of times these programs are hosting events. There are some that they do on campus. There are some that they do virtual. Considering we're a global society, a global world, and we know that there's talent everywhere, not everybody can come to the physical campus. So during the pandemic, one of the gifts that came from that is access to virtual options. So a lot of programs are doing virtual events, virtual open houses, virtual program sessions, virtual lunch and learns, to learn about their program, to hear from the faculty about their research. You are going to attend these. This is not an option. You've got to attend these events if you want to get in with a low GPA. Why is this important? Because number one, you're going to learn everything about the program. They're going to tell you this. Number two, you're going to learn about the decision makers and what they're interested in. Number three, you're going to get a chance to see what your competitors are and what they're saying, what they're asking, or your future classmates, whichever you want to call them. And then number four, you're going to get FaceTime with people. People are going to see your face. If it's a virtual event, you're not sitting on there with your screen off. I need you to be in professional dress. I need you to be present and engaged. Cut off your phone. Get rid of all distractions and be present. Be present in the chat. Let them know that you're interested. Okay? There are a lot of events, even in person. I need you to show up like this is a job interview, because it is. Even though it's an info session, this is an interview. This opportunity for them to learn about you and you to learn about them, to see if there's a mutual thing here between us that can work, that can come together and be beautiful. Okay? The next thing is, if you want to get into graduate school with a low GPA, you are going to have to shift your mindset. Too often, there are a lot of students who it starts, with what they think, right? Like they have a poor mindset about this process. They speak just so negatively and so low, and so it just doesn't reflect their energy and confidence. We all know you got a low GPA. We can look at the transcript and see that. But I'm saying, where's your confidence? Do you believe in your worth? Do you believe in your value? Do you display that you have strong confidence, that you're going to be an excellent scholar, that you're going to be a great contributor to discussions into the field? Are you able to speak to and visualize your success? Are you able to convey your goals? Are you able to take proactive steps that will put you in the position to get to the next level, whether it be promotion, whether it be a career change? You've got to display this. And in order to do that, you've got to say certain things to yourself. And here's the thing I want you to say to yourself. I will get admitted into graduate school because I am the best candidate for the program. I'm going to repeat again. I will get into graduate school because I am the best candidate for the program. That will completely change the way you think about this. It will completely change the way you feel about this. If you don't think you're the best, then why should they? Just to keep it 100. Graduate schools don't have time for people with unwavering, mediocre faith and beliefs in themselves. We need people who are assured, people who are gifted and talented and can put that out on display. So you need to begin to change the words you use and the way you think about this. You will not allow your GPA to hold you captive. You will not allow your academic experiences in the past to dictate your academic success in the future. You will now start to believe that when you say yes to me, here is everything you're going to get. Because this is an investment. Graduate school is an investment of your time, your resources, and your body and your mind. And individuals, whether you paying for it or not, with the knowledge they're giving you, it's an investment in you too. And I need you to change the way you think about this, change your mindset, believe in yourself. If you want to get into graduate school with a low GPA, you've got to strengthen other areas of your application. Now, here's the key, y'all. I told you from the very beginning what my GPA was. I told you and showed you what my GRE score was. I have never met the minimum requirements. By all standards, if we're holding a competitive applicant pool, you probably gonna put me in the no pile. But there's some things that I recognize very quickly that I gotta do to show that I'm just as competitive. So I can't control the GRE score anymore. I can't control the GPA anymore. I can't control once I got the application in. So what can I control? I can control my story. I can control what I share in my personal statement. I can control how I talk about my goals, the people that I want to work with, the interests that I have, the experiences that I have. I can control who writes a letter of recommendation and what I want them to speak to, and more specifically, why I'm interested in this program. I can control if they ask for a written sample, what I put in that written sample. I can get that document that I wrote a year or two, 10 years ago, and I can get it edited. I can get it reviewed. I can get feedback on it so it looks immaculate. It's still my words. It's just it's just a new version, a 20-something version of it. And I want you to work on the other aspects of your application because you've already acknowledged that you don't have a GPA. You've already attended one of the virtual events. You've already got your confidence through your mindset. You've already looked at the requirements and you already begin to understand who they are because you shaped your idea around this. And so you say, I don't see myself in that. Yes, you are in that. You don't see yourself from one component, and that's the GPA. And we're not going to let that stop us. We're going to apply. How can you get into graduate school with low GPA? Get some coaching and guidance. Graduate school is not about independent work throughout. Yes, you are independently assigned one ID, and there'll be one name on that diploma or the degree. But to get to the end goal, you need help. Faculty's roles is partially coaching. I know we like to use other terms like faculty mentors and advising and all. Yeah, cool. That's all have its own place in this academic world. But ultimately, they're coaches too. They're trying to provide you some level of guidance. And so you've got to be receptive to that type of help. You've got to be receptive to that feedback. That can be really hard for a lot of people because they don't want to be told no, or they don't like receiving feedback that makes them feel like they're not as good. Here I am with a low GPA. See, I knew I couldn't do it because I didn't meet the requirement. You can't go into this process with that. You've got to get some assistance and help. You may be a great writer. My first GRE, I got a 5 out of 6 on the writing score. Second time, I think I got a 4.5, maybe a 5 as well. So writing wasn't the challenge necessarily. But academic writing is not regular writing, y'all. It's a lot different. But I knew in order to strengthen the other areas of my application, I needed to get somebody to review this. I need you to look over my resume. I needed help. I needed you to look at my personal statement. I need to do mock interviews. I had 5 people do mock interviews with me so that I could prepare myself for my graduate school interview that I took when I had the flu virtually for my PhD program. And so imagine if at that moment what it felt like to not be in the best health, but I was prepared for what I was getting ready to be asked. You've got to get coaching and guidance in this. And that's what we're doing at Apply to Graduate School, providing you with that in our coaching program. We're doing the interviews. We're giving you the resources and supports to help you write your personal statement. We're editing and reviewing your documents. We're going through and offering you the step-by-step guidance you need so that you can increase your chances to get into graduate school, because you recognize that you're not meant to do this thing alone. We're not put on this earth to be alone. We're not put in the graduate programs and admitted to do it alone. And so you are not going to do this process of applying alone, especially with a low GPA. How do you get into graduate school with a low GPA? You send thank you emails after you've applied. Now, I learned that there's kind of a sweet spot to do this, because there's the period when the deadline is. There's the period when they start to write, to review applications. And you want to find a way to get in that middle. So send the thank you email. Send the physical thank you card or letter in the mail. They may get a bunch of emails. Y'all know emails get lost. We got to be honest. Some of us don't read our email. Go to spam. We just don't care. But what doesn't generally get lost is a physical item. So send a thank you. You know what? If you really, really want to do it big, go ahead and create you a personalized thank you card on Canva. Okay? With your image on there. And some quote that you live by or whatever it is, just something to say, thank you for the opportunity to connect with you. I look forward to partnering with you. I look forward to adding to being your peer. I look forward to learning from you. Whatever the tagline is, go to your local place or go online and get that thing printed. That's personalized. Put some color on it, okay? I wish I had access to some of these things when I was applying. All I had was an old school thank you note that said thank you on the front. And that's minimally what I did, y'all. These are the 7 action steps that I took, because I recognize that your GPA does not define your potential, Justin. Yes, you had that 2.776. Yes, you had that 690 GRE score. Yes, you had that 16 out of 1600. And yes, you had a 297 GRE score. But you're more than your GPA. Your GPA does not define your potential. I was in the PhD program and master's program with some of the most brilliant scholars in the world, in my opinion. But the difference between them and me is resiliency, y'all. I'm not going to quit. You might hit me with an obstacle for one moment, but I'm not going to stop. Yes, I lost my assistantship days before the opportunity to get a new one. The window had closed, really, truthfully, to get a new assistantship. All the interviews had been done months ago. And you think I let that stop me? No, I got up. Hey, listen, let me send some emails. Let me connect with some people, because I'm a relationship builder. Built a relationship, and the dean of the graduate school, the University of Georgia, had finished making her hires. And someone in the graduate school advocated for me and said, can you please give him one? She said, I give it to him for half a semester. If he does well, I'll finish it out. Y'all, she gave me the rest of it in 2 months. Dean Susan Barbour. At the time she was at the University of Georgia, she since went to some other places. I think at the time right now she's at Duke. But y'all, she gave me a chance. And I have a strong belief that all you're looking for right now is a chance. Because someone said, Justin, I don't know what happened, but I believe in you. And you're just looking for somebody to believe in you. I believe in you. I know that it didn't go well. I know that it might have been a family death and everybody doesn't understand that. I know it might have been depression and not everybody understands that. I know it might have been anxiety. I know it might have been a really difficult class. I know it might have been harassment or some type of experience, negative experience that happened on campus that resulted in that bad semester, that bad GPA. I know I kicked it super hard the first semester and got a 1.66. That was a thing that happened to you, but it does not define you. What defines you is what you're going to do now. And what you're going to do is apply, and you're going to know that you get the guidance that you need. You need expert guidance and support. Because y'all, I've been there. I've been a recruiter. I've been an admissions coordinator. My dissertation and my academic research looks at graduate student motivation. I asked the question, why do people decide to pursue graduate degrees? And I got some articles and some research out there. Just Google Scholar, put my name in, and it'll pull up the things that I have talked about. So I'm not a person who's just speaking from his own experience. I got the research credentials. I've got the professional experience. and I got the degree. All show that I know something. Okay. And I want to help you. And so, how can I help you? I want you to scan this QR code. I want you to schedule a time to meet with me so that we can talk more about your academic experiences and, more importantly, your academic goals, your professional goals. We're going to talk about your why. I want to understand what challenges are in the way from you getting to it. What is keeping you from saying, I can do this? I know the GPA is one of them. We can talk about it. I've been completely transparent with you about my experience and what happened with me. And now is your turn. Now is your turn to apply. You've got the 7 action steps ahead of you. You don't need anything else but to apply. Because that's why I created Apply to Graduate School, because I wanted to make graduate education more equitable and accessible for people. I know that people feel a certain way about the word equity right now, and I can care less. But y'all, there are inequities that exist. Data demonstrates that certain people are able to get access, that certain people are excluded. Here's just some insider information. Oftentimes, faculty are using GPAs as an easy way to lessen the number of people they've got to actually review and interview, and to excuse people they think are not worthy. But that's not you. You're fully worthy. And you just need a little bit of belief in yourself. You need an expert who's going to help you. Hello. And you need a strategy. And that's what we're going to work together. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment, send me a message. Let me know how this is resonating and impacting you. And not when you're ready, because I know you're ready now. But when you book your call, I want you to come with confidence. I want you to be honest and transparent. And before you do that with me, I want you to do that for yourself. With that being said, have a great rest of the day, great rest of the night, a great rest of the evening. Again, it's your boy, Dr. Justin Grimes from Apply to Graduate School, here today to talk about the topic, how to get into graduate school with a low GPA. And don't forget, y'all, to get the book. Oh, you like, what book? The book right here. 20 questions to answer, excuse the glare. 20 questions to answer before you apply to graduate school. Get it at applytograduateschool.com. It is a guide of everything you need to do. And what you get when you work with me is you get my additional support.